Hi guys, welcome to our second lesson for social influence. Today we are going to look at group polarisation and groupthink. The learning intention for today is for you guys to learn and understand what group polarisation is and its effect on attitudes, and also to learn and understand what groupthink is. You'll know that you've been successful in this criteria when you are able to analyse your own and other class members' behaviours using the concepts of groupthink and group polarisation. You'll also know that you've been successful when you are able to explain the concept of groupthink and identify associated situations conditions. You'll also be able to identify the ways that we can prevent groupthink. Interactions within groups not only influence our behaviour in different ways, but it also influences our attitude, beliefs, opinions, and other thoughts. Although we tend to be attracted to groups whose members have similar thoughts on all kinds of matters, individual group members can still have different points of view. Imagine you are having a friendly discussion with a member of your friends group. They tell you that they think euthanasia should be illegal. However, you do not agree. You tell them that you believe euthanasia should be legal. Taking a step back, we can see that in this situation, a discussion is likely to occur. Will you stay firm in your opinion? Will you change your friend's opinion after the discussion? Or will you be influenced by your friend's opinion? Will the individual members of your group settle on a collective group view? These are all common sense hypotheses. However, research suggests that none of these options will be likely. Results of empirical research have consistently found that group discussions lead to individual group members strengthening their original views. Conservative people become more conservative, liberals become more liberal, radicals become more radical, and so on. It appears that talking over the topic strengthens pre-existing attitudes, beliefs, and opinions, and this is what we know as group polarisation. Group polarisation refers to the tendency for individual group members following a group discussion to shift their initial views to a more extreme position, but in the same general direction. In one study, research participants responded to an initial questionnaire designed to measure racial prejudice. On the basis of their responses, participants were classified as either high, medium, or low on racial prejudice. The researchers then organised participants into groups in which the members were most likely to get along. The groups then met for a discussion about racial issues. What do you think happened? The attitudes of the individual group members on these issues were measured both before and after the group discussion. Group polarisation effects were dramatic. Participants who were identified as being low on racial prejudice to begin with were even less prejudiced after the group discussion. However, medium and high participants were even more racially prejudiced after the discussion. A number of explanations for group polarisation have been proposed. One explanation suggests that through discussion we hear new arguments that support our initial view on the topic. This then leads us to strengthen our position. Hearing arguments by others works as confirmation on our point of view or position, and leads us to adopt a more extreme position than our previous average position. We do this so that we can then gain approval from our entire group. Back to our example. What do we think will happen? What is most likely to happen is that you will continue to agree and maybe even strengthen your position, whereas your friend will continue to disagree with you and become more extreme in their position. So, now you and your friends move on from your euthanasia debate. You are all so hungry because of all the discussion, your group needs to decide where to go for lunch. After 10 minutes, it's decided that you will order Hawaiian pizza from Domino's. Even though you don't like pineapple, you agreed on this choice anyway. Why did your group decide on a food, even when it's not what the entire group wanted? Groupthink has occurred. Groupthink is a way of thinking by individual group members of a group when there is an overwhelming tendency to agree. You are failing to consider possible alternatives. In our pizza situation, the group was also hungry that they decided on Hawaiian pizza without considering the other possible options. This might have occurred because there was a clear group leader who wanted that selected pizza. Maybe time was limited. You were all starving. You were possibly isolated from any outside party influence who could jump in and provide you with possible alternatives. When these conditions exist, the group is more likely to become close-minded and justify the decision. In our example, the group might have justified that pizza was the fastest option. It was the closest option to you. Maybe it was the cheapest food for the group. And the majority of the group likes Hawaiian topping. This therefore influenced you to just cave in and agree to order Hawaiian pizza. There are many more examples of groupthink occurring which have more dire consequences than an uneaten pizza slice. It can even occur at the highest level of government, where groups of experts have been made for very important decisions. For example, the decision in favour of Australia's continuing involvement in the Vietnam War of the 1960s led to thousands of additional deaths and injuries, both physical and psychological, to young men, which ultimately proved pointless. Groupthink occurs because we rationalise and justify our decisions as the only reasonable option. We are more likely to dismiss other courses of action that contradict our chosen course of action. It occurs as group members believe even more so that the decision is the only correct one and they could not possibly be wrong. So, if it appears that anyone and everyone is susceptible to groupthink, how can we prevent it? It is recommended that to prevent groupthink, each individual group member makes a conscious effort to consider all of their information carefully and accurately. We should be looking for possible alternatives to our original idea. The group should consult widely with others who are not members of the deciding group. The decision should be thoroughly and critically reviewed once it's reached, but before it is settled and implemented. The group should have a clear leader who encourages constructive criticism of the views raised in the decision-making group. Furthermore, you can alert your group to the concept of groupthink. You can use subgroups who meet separately before coming together as one large group. You might also invite outside experts or allow members of the group to discuss with outsiders and report back. Another option is treating the first cohesive decision as a draft decision, which you will then review in a follow-up meeting. Can you think of anything else that they could do? So, back to our pizza decision. How could the group's decision be groupthink-proof in the future? You might ask other friends where else you can purchase food in the area. You could split up into smaller groups and come up with other ideas before deciding as a whole group. You could also treat the initial pizza decision as a preliminary decision, and then on your way to get your bag and your wallet or purse, think over that decision and decide finally when you get in the car. Another possible option is that you could buy 2 pizzas and share the leftovers with Miss Mills. That's all from me today, guys.